Okay, I think we're live. Are we? Yes, we are.
Okay, nice.
Um, as usual, we never know how to do these intros or outros. So, hello, people of the internet. Tis I, um, Jacoby. And today we have a special guest with us. The one and only lady at the sink, Barbara. Say hi.
Hi, everyone who's listening.
Yeah. Um, so clearly we have more than two friends. So all of you guys in the comments, they were like, we keep bringing back people. Yeah, no, we have more friends. Okay. Um, but today's podcast is gonna be a little bit different from what we're used to. We're not gonna be making any big waves. Uh, so you don't have to cancel us on Twitter this time. We're just gonna have a nice chill conversation about cinema. It's a bit of a weird topic to talk about given our previous podcasts, but if you've had the shower notes, then you probably know where this is coming from. I feel like, oh, hello, Paul.
Was good. Class is over.
Oh, okay. Good for you.
Uh,
We're live.
I see that.
Okay. So, oh yes, this is Paul. He's a part-time panda.
First introduction.
Yeah, everyone gets a weird introduction. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, like, um, stuff like TV shows, animations, media, cinema in general have like such a huge impact on me. Like from when I was a kid, the shows I liked and the characters I liked and all that kind of had like a huge impact on me. Like I had this need to imitate them. This is the part where you guys talk.
Time in high school when Bonnie was imitating like the way he sits.
Hey, hey, hey. you, you,
I'll
you
never
know,
forget that.
you you just had to
I'll
bring
never
that up, man.
forget that.
You
I'll
just had
never
to bring
forget
that up,
that.
man. You
He
just...
just randomly just sit down.
Okay, look, I was in the zone. Okay, I was in the zone. I think it was like a physics exam or something, and I was feeling like super big brain. So
But to be honest, really me animation, especially when I was a kid. I think even right now away, I kind of like if it is some kind of personality or like a way like a character is like from a show.
yeah,
I remember I used to do that a lot. To be honest,
yeah, right. It's not
because
just me, right? I thought it was a bit.
yeah, that's not.
Okay,
To
okay,
be honest, not that it was kind of cringe, honestly.
okay. Yeah, it is. It is kind of
Yeah,
cringe when like you imitate them like
yeah,
directly, but
yeah,
a lot of like the traits for these characters, like we end up inheriting them, um, like subconsciously. Like you'd see a character that you like when you're really kid, or when you're a kid and you're impressionable, and then a lot of those aspects you try and apply to your own life without even realizing that you're doing it, and then later down the line you like, you know, you have certain traits about you that originate from like these kinds of sources, like how people blame the taste from Pixar movies or whatever. Again, this is where you guys speak.
I'm sorry, there's no cue card.
You what?
There's no cue card.
There's no
Like,
cue card.
yeah, there's no cue card.
Is-
So everybody down to speak.
nah, you just chip in. You just speak
uh,
whatever you want to speak, or when there's a long pauses.
I get you. Well, okay. At the moment, the animations which like I see at the moment, like for example, one my next most is watched. To be honest, like most of them are honestly cringe. I don't know how to explain it, but my kids love them so much.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe let's say if our parents had like animations during that time, maybe maybe for them the other animation would be like, oh, like this is insanely cool. And let's say like if they saw like the animations we watched like when you were a kid, like
Yeah, the
maybe
quality.
even to them.
Most of the quality is usually carried by nostalgia. Like
Yeah,
going back
true,
to watch old shows that aren't actually, some of them aren't actually as good as we remember, but the nostalgia saves it.
true.
But like I don't know if you guys share this sentiment. You probably do, but I feel like animations, in terms of like movies or series, animations have like the most potential. Like you can get away with so much stuff, and you can create such like beautiful artworks.
True.
Like there's just, I don't know how to call it, like a magic, like a specific feeling you get that only animation can draw out. Cause for example, like for a long time I never really watched a lot of animations. Like back when I was like starting high school or whatever, I was a huge superhero nerd. I watched all the Flash and Arrow and all that, and they were fun. But then I got introduced to anime, and I was like, yeah, this can't be replicated. It just has that sort of style, and the way you can tell such like interesting stories through animation that you can't really copy paste into live action. At least not without like a ridiculous FX budget. I'm looking at you, Avatar movie. You sucked.
So much, so much.
Yeah, the shade.
Funny enough, I was talking about the other time I was talking with Barbara, and like I mentioned how the Avatar movie was so awful.
Yeah.
That's because like I was seeing recommendations of the movie on YouTube, and I'm like, okay, let me see some. Because I remember I did watch Avatar, the movie when I was a kid, but to me it was like, okay, this is not good, but really enough, I still kind of liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Wait, you
explain. I
liked
still
it?
kind of like it. No, 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 I didn't. I didn't.
Oh,
No, no,
oh, oh,
no.
I
I'm
would have
saying
been
like
very
when I was a
concerned.
kid. I think okay, when I was a kid, anything I remember disappointing me a lot was the time in like in the movie, and you know how in like the animation
Yep.
when they in the I don't know if it's in the Northern Water tribe,
Yes.
then Ang does
Yes.
that massive fish, right?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I know that scene.
Yeah, and then in the movie, he just does like a really big wave.
There was.
I remember that really disappointed me when I was a kid. I'm like, the heck is this?
Have you seen the?
Actually,
No.
sorry, no, like another thing that was literally disappointing about the movie was that the Fire Nation had to have fire for them to burn fire. It was
Yes,
really annoying because it made me feel like, I mean, all the waterbenders could have already won if like all of them found a way of like getting all the putting out all the fire around them. I mean, that's
it's
done. And
yeah,
everyone wins. There couldn't have been a reason to why the Fire Nation in the movie could have had the upper hand in all the
exactly.
wars. It was so dumb.
Exactly. I remember I watched an interview where, funnily enough, the guy who worked on that, or one of the directors who worked on that, is from another show that I actually really like. If any of you have ever watched Heroes, he's
Heroes.
Heroes,
Yeah,
where
heroes.
like there's an eclipse that happens and then people have
Does,
superpowers.
does it have a character called Hiro Nakamura?
Yes. So
Ah, bruh.
Hero,
Dude.
Hiro Nakamura from the show actually worked as an assistant director on the or one of the directors for the Avatar movie, and I just recently found this out. And they did an interview where they were asked like why did they change certain things about the show, and they were asked that question of like why did they make their Fire Nation need fire, and they were like we needed to balance out the elements so that they're all equal. Like waterbenders need water, earth need earth, so fire should also need fire. But the issue with that is that just breaks the entire world building because now firebending isn't overpowered. Like the
Exactly.
whole reason why they invaded everyone else is because they felt like they were stronger, and they were stronger because they could
Yeah.
manifest the element out of thin air. So you take that away, and it's like, yeah, they should be the ones being invaded. Like, Earth Kingdom got more than that. Like, it didn't make any sense, and then all the casting options, like I don't okay, I don't know if people gonna call me racist for this, but I just assumed Ang was gonna be acted by an Asian kid. I mean, like,
That's a
and the
bit racist, bruh.
yeah, no, like
Okay, I understand you
the
though.
the
Like I
the
said.
I know it's like the
Because he's a
Avatar.
man.
Yeah, like I know the Avatar world is like it's not really like ours. Like they're not like all right, this is Asia, this is what. But like there are a lot of elements that have been like what's it called
Sure was black.
yeah yeah like Katara and Sokka, right?
Okay.
That was yeah Katara and Sokka, and like the Fire Nation was clearly like a lot of Japanese empire style with all the houses and the propaganda, so to speak. Like there were inspirations drawn from all around the world. The nomads were like Tibet Buddhists and all this. So I thought like when they were going to do the casting, they'd actually get people who you know fit the role. But instead, they just I don't know chose a bunch of generic white guys. Yeah, I'm probably
Also
gonna get carried
Indian.
racist for that. Yeah, also Indian. But yeah, they just messed up. The episode where uh the Avatar gang go and like watch a movie about themselves, and it's kind of cringe. That was better than the actual movie.
True, true, true.
I agree.
All right, then, all right, honestly.
And it's kind of funny because I got more and more intrigued as I started reading into like how they fucked this up. Um, and I started understanding like I don't know what makes a good show because I felt like Avatar is like one of the greatest animations that we've seen for a couple of years. Let's say,
Our generation.
yeah,
Still is.
yeah. Probably it still holds up even after all these years. You can still rewatch it, and it still has all of that perfect balance elements. Of course, it's not perfect. There are shows that are perfect, but still, it's pretty good. And I look at its sequel, and this is a bit of a hot take because a lot of SJWs seem to like the Legend of Korra. But I didn't like it. I felt like it completely took away from the main show. Like instead of being a sequel, it just tried to overwrite everything that was established in the previous show. I don't know if you guys share my views.
Hmm.
Well, for me, The Legend of Korra, I think the one thing which I liked about it only was the fight choreographies.
Okay,
I,
yeah,
I really like I really like the fight choreographies in Korra.
the
They were actually
the
really better.
the animation and the fight choreography
Yeah,
did
they were
go up.
actually really better.
Yeah, I
But
but
story
again,
wise,
that's just because they had more money at that time. They were funded by
yeah.
Nickelodeon. But I read like how the entire production of The Legend of Korra went, and I like I kind of like pseudo analyzed it a bit. I'm not an expert or anything, but I just there's some obvious mistakes all around. So they got booked for all 4 seasons of The Legend of Korra before they even started making it. By the time the last Airbender was done, Nickelodeon were like, "All right, give us 4 seasons of the next continuation of this. We've booked it. We've booked it. We've paid for it and everything." So they now had to start making an entire prequel. Oh, sorry, sequel. And during this changeover, one of the directors from the show is called Aaron Ehas. He stepped away from the making of Legend of Korra really early on. Actually, I don't even think he started, and it's a it, he's significant in that if you've ever like seen director's cuts of Avatar, he's always the one speaking, and he like explains, he breaks down every scene and like says the importance of everything, like how Katara's necklace had a mini story to make us feel more attached to it, and Zuko had it for a while and then gave it back, and then it symbolizes all that, and all the little details that are in The Last Airbender, those were made by him. Mike and Brian, the creators, came up with like the concept and the show and the characters, but he like tied everything together, and you can see the difference for after he left, because Korra started taking a very weird route in terms of a sequel. Like first of all, they went for the route of like more is better. Like something that the audience resonated with on the original show, something like lightning, which was really cool. They were like, "All right, you guys like lightning? We'll give you more lightning." And then Korra, everyone bans lightning. But in the previous show, lightning was cool not just because a select few people could do it, but also because it was pretty deadly. Like Azula's lightning bolt was able to take down like fully powered Aang, just one shot him. It was stupidly powerful. But then because they've given everyone lightning in Korra, then it has to be less powerful. So you get characters just walking it off after they get shot by like 1,000 volts or something. They're just like, yeah, I'm good. And they did that with like,
That's correct.
yeah, they did that like with a lot of things. They're like, all right, you like blood bending? All right, here's a blood bender who can do it without a full moon, in daytime, without even making hand movements. He just looks at you, and it's like,
Looks away the bending.
yeah, it's like they just took all the world building and threw it in the trash. they made defined rules for how things work, and then they broke all those rules for the sake of a sequel. And they did the same thing with like so much that it got diluted. Like, all right, you guys, like Avatar State. All right, Korra can access it anytime she wants, but because of that, it has to be nerfed. She can't be a literal god like Aang now. So it just gives her like a little energy buff or something. And throughout watching Korra, I tried to give it. I remember I never finished it when I first tried watching it. I watched season one, then I was like, nah, I'm not watching this. And then I came back to it when it came on Netflix, and I was like, all right, let me just finally finish it. Maybe I was just watching it with my rose tinted glasses. Let me give it a fair chance. And then I was just like, no. You start off with such. I could forgive all of these mistakes because the beginning of every season usually seems really cool, and then they mess it up. Like the beginning of season one was like Amon, right? This dude who has no bending and can fight the Avatar toe to toe. Like that was cool. In the Last Airbender, like Sokka was the only one who could kind of do that, and even he couldn't fight the Avatar, right? Most you could do was like take down a couple Fire Nation guards or something. But even him, he worked his ass off for that. And then you tell me that there's a dude who can, spar toe to toe with the Avatar and they stakes because he can remove bending. Like that's a cool concept. And then halfway through, I like, oh wait, no, he isn't a non-bender. He's actually the strongest waterbender to ever live. And it's like, okay. And then they talked about like equality or whatnot, about how like benders are oppressing non-benders, and there was never any conclusion to that. They just left it hanging.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they kept making like really cool stories and then just completely diverting and going a different route. And they were going in so many different directions, but I guess they didn't really have a plan because they were told, okay, you need 4 seasons, but they didn't have 4 seasons lined up. They didn't have a 4 season worth of story. So that's why all the seasons kind of feel like their own, um, like little worlds, right? Like season one has its villain, its conclusion, and then season two has its villain, its conclusion. Whereas, so it was a season-based show, whereas the Last Airbender was like a episodal, where you'd go episode for episode. This episode would set up the next one until we reach the end of the show. But they took that completely different option. Um, and it's a bit weird because when you look at shows that people really like or people feel attached to, they usually don't like the sequels, except in very few exceptions. Um, and it's even worse when it comes to adaptations. I'm looking at you, Death Note Netflix movie. You sucked.
Gosh.
And like when trying to imitate the source material, but at the same trying to be like unique, it's a bit of like a balance.
Yeah,
And I haven't really seen adaptations get it right.
true.
Hmm. Yep.
Like, for me, I think the niche I've actually watched like a live action was the AFT one, and that's because
Hey, you watched
You
the
watched you
Attack
watched
on
yeah,
Titan?
Explorative.
yeah, it was a live action of
Did
AFT.
you finish it?
Oh wait.
I was watching from YouTube. It's from YouTube.
Uh
I can't watch that.
I think
Oh
I've
no.
seen some clips of that one, like the floating gel inside the Titans or something like that.
It's honestly so dumb. You know, in that movie, I forgot the most concept about it,
Yeah.
but they introduced like a general who's a Titan shifter, who's apparently evil, right?
Mhm.
So he had said like the final battle, right? It's Eren versus him. And like of course because there was this some strong dudes, like when Reina came the first time and like could beat Eren like like very easily. But like of course right now Eren can like beat the heck out of him. I think I think it's like
Yeah.
how many times is it like 3-1? So it's no
All right.
like yeah like
Spoiler
okay
warning.
so like the general yeah so like the general is supposed to be like some of a five dude. Did you know how Eren beats him?
How?
He does this one kick.
Uh huh.
It's like it has changed everything. It's like you know those anime moments. It's like drive like it's kind of like it's golden moment, right?
Yeah.
Eren is just a kick, literally just one kick. Like
Turns the
it's
tide
like
of
that.
battle.
Exactly. It's like another general can't do anything. It's like, oh no, you did the kick, now I can't do anything. Basically,
My one
so
weakness, a kick.
I one witness the kick.
Impossible.
How did he know?
I was going to say how funny it is too.
Yeah,
But the actions weren't really that good.
but that's the thing, right?
Wait,
Uh huh. Sorry.
I was about to comment on what's it called? Avatar: Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
So like the first time I watched it, I didn't like it as much because it felt the same way. Like it's so different from the what's it called Last Airbender because
Yeah.
I was really attached to Last Airbender at that time, and I think I was like disappointed at the fact that it didn't have like one storyline the way you just said, and
Yeah.
what's it called? But then the second time I watched it, no, like I watched it like after a few years from the first time I watched it, and then I was like. So okay, so I started thinking about like the setting, the time, and it has been like so many years since Aang's death and Sokka's and like everyone's death, and there's been the generation and they've grown older and had their kids and stuff, and now I know it's a more civilized town that Aang made, and so like I was okay, so I thought about it, and also like the age of the new Avatar right now. Korra is a
Yeah.
teenager, and also the whole team is a teenager. So I
Yep.
was feeling like I actually do think the sequel.
You do
Was
think that?
no, I did. Okay, after some time, I actually realized the sequel was like well done in a way.
Okay.
It did change how like no one expects change and no one like really wants that much change, but the change had to be there over those years. It's just something that we had to accept, and I don't know how to put it, but
No. Yeah.
the
No.
things they handled,
Mhm.
yeah, and
Okay.
then
No. No. Finish.
okay, yeah. So like the things they handled in Legend of Korra, from things that teenagers go through, from breakups to depression to okay, well, okay, leave that aside, and then okay, it was okay. I can say Legend of Korra was more mature than
Really?
Last Airbender.
I don't
Okay,
think so.
I don't think so.
I
Like,
don't think
okay,
so.
the characters.
The characters are not more mature than the gang.
Not the characters are more mature. I'm saying the characters went through more mature themes than in
Yeah.
Last Airbender.
Yeah. They did have
Explain.
they did
Like
have mature
explain.
themes. No. 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 They did have
Yeah.
mature themes, right? Um. Season 1 about equality and how to treat people. Season 2 is like civil wars. And anarchy. Season 3, dictatorship. Season 4, like the truth, there are mature themes, but the show itself wasn't mature. Like the
Wait, it
characters
can't go.
weren't really much. Like, for example, okay, best example of this is the love triangle. uh
Teenagers, that's it. Okay, let me
yes,
continue.
yes, they're teenagers. That's fine, but it was so messy as compared to the love triangle in the last airbender, where these are children who should be, you know, less mature, but somehow, like, the story is better because I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but Kurosami is dumb. Not because they're gay, right? I don't have any problem with that. The problem is this, like, how they got to that point. Because let's put it into perspective, right? The three of us here. So pretend I am pretend I'm Asami, and Paul is Korra, and you are Mako. So you're currently with Asami.
Goddamn beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So Mako's with Asami, and then Korra steps in, kisses Mako without his consent. Um, Asami finds out, gets pissed, breaks up. Mako and Korra start dating. Then all that memory wipe thing happened, and then they stopped dating. Then they came back dating. Then, you know, on and off, and then they stopped. And then and then at the end, out of nowhere, Korra and Asami start.
And then correct.
So you're telling me that if I am Asami, right? This person
Uh-huh.
who came kissed my boyfriend, made him, no, I ended up leaving my boyfriend because of that kiss. Then they start dating, on and off, and again, and then he breaks up with her. He starts dating me, and then he cheats on me with her again when she gets her memory wiped. Then after all of this, you're telling me I'm going to fall in love with her? Like, it doesn't make sense. The emotions don't line up with the actions. It feels like it was shoehorned in at the last minute, and that's I find that like a running theme with the Legend of Korra, as just as a sequel in general, is that like it sets it up for really mature and decent conversations. It sets it up perfectly, but then it also breaks everything that it's done. And as for the change thing, like, yeah, of course we don't expect the same story, but at the same time, when you break your own world building, it's a bit of a stretch because you've defined what's possible and what's not possible, and then you go ahead and just ignore that. It reached a point where you were getting Dragon Ball Z fights with Korra and what was his name, the Dark Avatar dude, shooting laser beams and whatnot, and like, that's not Avatar. And it got to the point where they broke so much of the. Actually, I have a perfect example of this. It's like Naruto, right? Naruto also broke their own world building. They're like, all right, this is a story about ninja, right? Stealthy, silent in the shadows, dudes. The last episode had like 50-foot Susanoo, swords that cut apart mountains and black hole attacks. Like, yeah, that's stealthy as fuck. Like, you set up a scenario, you set up a world, and then you say, okay, this is how this world operates, and then you take all of that away, and it makes for like hindsight 2020. Like, at the end of it, yeah, it's cool, but like when you step back and look at everything, it's like, this doesn't make sense. This should not have been possible to begin with. I mean, it looks cool, but it completely like draws you away from the world and what was trying to be built. So like, for instance, take it like, okay, so this is the limitations. All right, not everyone can learn lightning because apparently it's really hard. Even Zuko couldn't do it. And you need to harness it, and it's dangerous. And then all of a sudden, everyone can do it. And it's like, how? How did everyone learn lightning
The
if it
white
was
short.
such a the white what?
The word hot.
They were taught by who? Because at the end, right? Um,
Generations. Boko. Iroh. Iroh
wait,
didn't die. Yeah, he didn't die. Iroh.
yeah, Iroh didn't die, but you're telling me they taught every single firebender to use lightning,
It's the
Something called
fucking one
generations.
limited
We teach
and
one
and
person,
and
they teach their
somehow,
children, and you form
and
a clan.
and somehow that lightning became weaker
Mm-hmm.
down the generations instead of becoming stronger. Somehow a lightning bolt that could kill an avatar in his avatar state now is just, walk you just walk it off.
maybe depends with their strength or something.
so so
Yeah.
so the just so Mako, who walks off lightning bolts all the time, is stronger than Aang in the avatar state. Yes.
Marco shot.
Yeah.
Marco shot a leg.
Yeah, equalists and whatnot. They get zapped by lightning all the time. Actually, even with the what's it called?
Shot or zap.
It was zapped.
I just
I
remember
think
that
that's
one time.
lightning.
But I think
Yeah, I remember
the
I
triads
remember that
also
one
like
time
shot
when
it at him.
you were shot by that thing, the machine. Was it a machine? It was something from a machine.
No, yeah. There's the machine one, but there's also a scene, season one, where he gets into a scuffle with the triad guys, and he takes a bolt to the chest, and he just walks it off.
I
So,
just think the child guy was weak.
what
Protected with God.
is protected by what? By his clothes? By
Plot armor.
Wait, let me
plot
confirm. I can't
plot
tell me.
armor.
Which
He had
one?
he had more plot armor than
He
the
had
bloody
plot armor.
avatar. He had more
Maybe.
plot armor than the bloody avatar. Then, I don't know. I find it like it's very distracting because I remember I never really knew why I didn't like Avatar, but after looking into it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why. And I don't know if other people share this sentiment. The fan base seems to be divided into like people who are like, nah, Kara was the best show ever, and then others who are like, nah, it was trash. But either way, I think it still has like a lot to teach about like how to make good sequels or how not to make good sequels. And like some of the best sequels out there, you can see like a trend, like the Harry Potter sequels, right? Everyone loves the Harry Potter movies. I don't think I've seen any hate for that floating around. But they were so loyal to the books, like it was the perfect book to movie adaptation that I've seen, and it worked. But I don't know why companies don't just say like, all right, it worked for them, it should work for us. Instead, they come up with these dumb ideas of like, yeah, let's change this, let's make this better, let's put more explosions, and it's like it makes no sense.
It's what the people want.
Yeah, it's not. Like no one's gonna watch it.
According to them, it's what they want.
Oh yeah. They think it's what we want, and it's the same
Yeah.
of like you want more, so we'll give you more. You liked this, we're gonna multiply it by 100. You like this aspect, all right? Now everyone can do this, and it makes it so much worse. But the only bright side is it makes the source material look even better than it was before. Like Korra looks really good when compared to the Avatar movie. I can't complain. I can't complain at all. Uh, so and I don't know if there's somebody listening who like wants to get into like film or writing or anything just has to do with creating a story or a captivating character or anything, I recommend you go follow Aaron he has or something, because the guy knows, and he knows how this shit works.
I didn't like one of his latest animation, Dragon,
Yeah, the Dragon Prince.
and the Dragon Prince. It wasn't that interesting. I was expecting like something really nice, close, almost close to like the Bender, but I don't know. I think I like raised my
The
expectations way too high for him or something. I
I
didn't enjoy it.
I watched it, and I was expecting it to be bad actually, because I didn't know it was him working on it when I first picked it up. I was like, oh, it's just a kids show. Whatever. I'll just see it. I have nothing else to watch. Why not? I'll watch it for fun. But then halfway through, I got surprised. I was like, okay, this show is actually good. But I think it's because I didn't have that expectation, because I didn't know he worked on it. So halfway through, I'm like, all right, the story is kind of meh, but everything else is like done really well. Like the characters, the interactions, the small little hints that they drop here and there. And then finally, I was like, wait, there's a Avatar reference in this. Why is there an Avatar reference? And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh wait, he does the same show. I mean, so I don't for the Dragon Prince. It's like, it's a decent show. It's not exactly the last Airbender. Again, it's kind of hard to capture that magic again, especially now that we're older and we have rose tinted glasses. But I feel like for what it is, it's actually pretty good. Have you seen it, Paul? By the way, hello. Wait. One sec.
Sorry, was on call. What's the question?
No. I was asking Paul if he's seen the Dragon Prince.
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
Because I haven't watched like any animation, like the only thing animation I watch is the fun and
Well, I guess he doesn't really have to, like, normal animation style. But it's funny because animation's becoming more and more popular, like more mainstream. Because like before, like a lot of people had this idea of cartoons, right? Like it wasn't an animation; it was a cartoon. It was meant for kids.
yeah.
But then you got like adult animations, Family Guy and Simpsons and all that. That like say no, we're not for kids. We have mature content and all that. And it's become a bit more mainstream. But like more and more people are just like, oh yeah, yeah, that's cool. You watch that? That's cool. Like Rick and Morty, and all these other shows that have become like super popular, Archer and all those. So uh, I've yet to see like um anime become mainstream, and I can't wait till that happens. Cause goddamn, it is way past, like it's way overdue. I remember like they were doing the what are they called? This is the Grammys or something. Like they had nominated a bunch of different movies for this award, and some of them were anime, but apparently the one that won was some random kids animation. Let me check it. It was like what was it? It was I can't remember what one, but it was like a
What
cloudy the
what
chats of
what award was
meatballs or something. Like, it was like best animation of 2020 or something. Um, and that one over like actually decent anime. Like they made those kinds of those kinds of animations I'm talking about, Boss Baby and all that. Actually,
Yeah.
yes, it was Boss Baby 2. Boss Baby 2 won that. And Silent Voice was nominated. A Silent Voice was nominated.
Oh.
And Boss Baby 2 is apparently better than that. Apparently. And
Apparently.
the lady who won the director, like the award for like best director or something, she said the day that these awards look past subtitles is the day you guys will start to appreciate Eastern animations. And I was like, yeah, because you have really like touching and like such high quality animation, both like visually odd and like story wise, to the extent like have you ever watched Your Name? You probably have, right? Yeah.
200. 200.
Who hasn't, right? Yeah. So if you haven't watched Your Name, by the way, just go watch it, man. It's so fucking good. Kimi no Na. So Your Name is like, it's completely different from at least what I'm used to. I'm used to shonen. Right? I'm used to superhero stuff. And a bit of sci-fi. I'm used to Psychopaths and Death Note and Naruto and My Hero Academia, and I'm used to all these action-filled animations. But at the top of my list right now for the best anything, movie, series, anything, is Kimi no Na. And it's not even a genre I like. It's romance. I don't. I'm not a huge fan of the romance genre, but the movie was done so goddamn well. The story.
Is it even the visual, what I call it?
What? No, yeah, it's at the top for me. I prefer it over that. I prefer it over Death Note, man. And you know how
No,
much
no,
I love Death Note.
like you said, you're not a fan of romance, so like I'm saying, old anime, like you haven't watched what I call it,
What's
so
up,
like
boy?
I
you watched.
yes, I have. I've watched it. I'm just usually not like, I don't actively look for them. I'll watch it.
Uh,
I'll watch it because somebody recommended it to me. Same like Kimi no Na, like Joel recommended it to me, and I was like, okay, sure, fine, I'll check it out. And it was so goddamn good. It topped all of my lists to the extent that I have the entire soundtrack downloaded and I listened to it. It was something I'm completely like, it's not my cup of tea. I don't like watching those kinds of shows, but the music, the visuals, the story, the pacing, everything came together in such a beautiful knot. And like, that's sort of like the main things about making um, shows that people resonate with, right? Like the score has to be amazing, the visuals, the pacing about how this happens, then this happens, this happens. You want the audience to feel the emotion, every single emotion that you want them to throughout the entire movie. If you want them to, feel sad at this point, they will feel sad at this point. And if you accomplish that, then you made a good film. This is the part where you guys talk again.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We
okay,
do.
okay. Yeah, but just
But what?
I think it was still a bit
Yeah,
like you're still here.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, and like what's young? Okay, I don't know who listens to the podcast. I don't know from which region, but I was kind of happy. There's this like movie shop.
Uh
You
huh.
go there and like print stuff like reports, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like at the moment like not many places if they're there in Kenya like they you see movie shops selling anime or something like that.
Yeah, there's so many few places that actually
Yeah.
offer anime.
So
Sad.
like I think the only one I can remember, I know them I didn't know like it was called anime. It's about there's this guy who was selling like DVD copies of Bleach. That time I
Oh,
didn't know it was called anime, but I was like, bruh, okay, that looks epic. Like I just made like an animation, like being a
yeah,
kid and all.
yeah,
Yeah, but like now yesterday, like literally yesterday, when I was going to print some notes that we're gonna use today,
yep.
I just look at the guy's shop. I just see there you know how they like space posters of
Yeah,
movies.
yeah, the posters of the movies. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
context for all of you, um, people who aren't from Kenya. Yeah, we pirate all your movies. I we we
yeah.
pirate all your movies. I
Hell yeah, man.
we're going to pay for HBO and none of that shit, right? We're going. It's become
Hey.
so lucrative that it's a business, right? You just take your laptop, you go sit there, you pirate movies, and you sell them to people. Um, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
just how
Oh
it
yeah.
be like.
So like I was happy because they put their poster of Demon Slayer. I
Oh.
was
In
like,
Judah.
bruh, hell yeah, yeah, in Judah,
Judah.
in the same, yeah, in Judah, in
Like, and
Judah.
I've been looking for movie shows that sells anime like since they went there.
But I know one
Those
now.
those ones,
It's the same place you took me to.
legit.
Yeah, it's the same place.
Okay, that's
They're the
that's
poster of Demon Slayer.
bad.
So I don't know why,
That
but
was
like I
bad.
was so happy, honestly. I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, so you guys
I
gonna
can't say
like, yeah.
study.
Then they're like, yeah. Which one do you want? Attack on Titan? Yeah, I'm like,
Man,
I,
I need to
I,
find
I,
one of those
I,
places.
I,
I've started watching I've started reading, sorry, One Piece, and I'm like, it's so long. It's so long. I've just started. I'm like, all right, I need like a manga place, a manga shop or something, or an anime and just download it and like watch it later. Because there's so much, man. But that's pretty cool. So if any of you guys ever want unlimited free anime, just move to Kenya. We 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 have free anime and a shit ton of corruption.
to be honest, if I did have like the money or like the funds, I'd honestly be like the guy was like a manga shop. And
I know, right? You just print them out, get some nice
Also,
covers,
oh,
and
oh, and
just
and and, and this is like flagging a question to Jacob.
all right.
So Jack, I'm thinking of in future of building a maid cafe.
You wanna make a
Are you
maid cafe?
interested?
Um,
Are you interested?
I might. It's a coincidence, actually. I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast, but my retirement plan is to own a cafe. So I guess I guess it can be a maid cafe.
I'm not
Okay,
part of this.
Ah,
oh,
come on,
Barbara,
Barbara, man. Come on,
she,
Barbara, man.
she,
What?
We
That is another level of weave I'm not willing to raise.
Oh man.
yeah.
It's cool.
I can help. I will gladly help with a manga shop and selling posters or something, holding what's it called?
You can,
Conventions.
oh well, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, cafe is where I draw the line.
Okay.
Uh,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm gonna hold you to that, Paul. Though that maid cafe.
uh, uh, bruh.
I'm gonna hold you to that, man.
If only had the cash to, if you only had the capital,
Uh
stuff like this.
yep. Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe,
Uh.
maybe.
But okay. Interesting. Interesting. Also, I have a question actually. What are y'all's favorite characters?
Favorite characters.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Just favorite characters.
favorite
in
character
in terms of everything.
in terms of everything.
Yeah,
The heck? Hmm. Favorite character in terms of everything. Like favorite
I'm really
favorite.
sure your answer is
like
a challenge.
like a character that in a film or a movie, a series, an animation, a character that's just vibed with you, so to speak, to such a great extent, like you resonate with them. You're like, yeah, this is my spirit animal or something. I don't know.
That's so hard, man. The heck?
It's hard,
especially,
really.
especially the number of I don't know of
Alright, okay, okay.
enjoying
So
many
so
characters.
so okay. What characters do you enjoy then? Just any.
uh, I already know Barbara's
Or what's Barbara's?
Many.
Dazai from Bungo Stray Dogs.
Who?
That's one of them for sure.
Who?
Dazai from Bungo Stray Dogs. Dazai. Remember
Oh, yeah,
Dazai?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Big try.
And yeah, Barbara literally sings for him.
Oh, all right, all right.
Wow.
If there was a Dazai body tailor, Barbara would probably buy.
Let it be known. We have a simp in the recording studio.
Okay, sorry. So favorite character, bro. Well, I'll just say it
Favorite,
because
but like just anyone, just anyone you really
anyone.
enjoy. Like every time they're on screen, you're like, yes.
I think the only one I can remember at the moment was Askeladd from Vinland Saga.
Was who from
To be
Vinland
honest,
Saga?
I said it.
yeah,
I said it.
Askeladd from Vinland Saga. Remember that?
Ah, yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That guy was. He just made Vinland Saga my best anime in 2019. Honestly. Bro, like every time I saw him on screen, I
Yeah,
was like, bro, they're either gonna do something epic, something dumb but epic,
yeah.
or something just straight up deep, and you're like, yo, like after that was so very late. I probably will if I thought more about it, I probably have another character,
I mean,
but
yeah,
the
yeah, I
one I
guess
can
I
remember at the moment,
I kind of put you on the spot here, but
yeah, the one I remember, yeah, it's,
it's,
I don't have list like you.
yeah.
Was it John who had a list? And then you
Now I also have a list.
guys are list.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I remember that we made a whole bunch of lists of like our favorite characters and why they're our favorite characters. uh,
Exactly.
and it's funny because if you look at the trend, they all have like something in common. It might not be apparent,
Mm,
but like when you look at it, like throughout you go through the list and you'll start seeing a pattern of certain character traits, um, like coming back. Like for me, I'd put like light, you know, I'd put like light, and I'd put like Sasuke, and I'd put like all these um narcissistic, hyper intelligent dudes. Um,
yeah.
and then like Joe would put weirdly enough, Joe likes Azula. From the last Airbender, which is funny because I prefer Zuko. But there's always like a trend. Like if you look at the characters you really like, there's certain like personalities that stand out between each of them. Not necessarily all of them. You might like characters for like different things, but you'll find like if a character like gives off specific traits, you're more likely to be more invested in it. Like how I picked up One Piece, and now I'm in it for a long haul just because of Luffy, right? He's a protagonist that doesn't act like a child, and I love that shit. Um, I hate the traditional shonen or like okay, well I don't hate it, but like I've watched so many that it's a bit tiring. Whether like the protagonist starts off and they're like weak, and you know you show them it starts off with like showing you how far he has to reach. Like this is the peak of this world, and this guy has to get there somehow. But for One Piece, it was just like, yeah, nah, Luffy's strong. He needs to get stronger, yeah, sure, but he's already strong. Um, and he's one of those guys who doesn't talk. I don't know if you get annoyed by this, like I do. Like when you watch typical shonen like My Hero Academia or something, and then they stop halfway through the fight to start shouting at each other about their ideals. It pisses me off so much. It pisses me off so much. Well, okay, like it never used to piss me off, but after seeing it so many times, I get really pissed off. I'm like, all right, just do the fight, man. Stop shouting about, you have to do this because power of friendship and all that. And there was so much shit like that in Naruto as well. Like you had entire episodes, like a fight that lasted like 3 whole episodes. I remember the Orochimaru Hokage fight lasted like a good 3 episodes, and half of that was just some guy like standing as a sword goes through his chest, and like they're just talking, and they're just having a conversation for like 3 entire episodes, and it's like what? But like One Piece has none of that. And maybe it will later on. I don't know. I haven't really reached that. But the intro is super strong. It was like, yeah, no. Actually, there's one scene where they even make fun of it. Where like there's oh man, shit, spoilers, I guess. But like it's episode 2, man, or something. There's a dude who's treating his pirate crew really badly and killing them and whatnot, and Luffy just looks at him, just a look, and like that's all it takes. And like the guy's like, "Don't you lecture me and whatnot," and Luffy just keeps looking at him like, "What?" And he's like, "So you don't tell me how to run my ship, Nitty." And Luffy hasn't said anything. He's just look at him, and then after this guy does his whole rant, Luffy just punches him in the face, and it was so goddamn satisfying. I was like, "Thank God you didn't start speaking shit. Thank God you did. You just like get to the point, and that's it, and none of that all of that pandering, and which is weird because you kind of get that a lot, but I guess that's why we also like resonate with a lot of these characters, because we like being we like underdog stories, right? I guess that's why shonen is so popular, because you see a lot of yourself in these protagonists. You see, they're not really where they want to be, and they have big dreams, and then you watch them grow and get there. But every now and again, something a bit refreshing is always nice. That's why One Punch Man is so popular, because it just completely took that narrative and flipped it on the head. Um, but yeah, it seems like there's like a feedback loop that happens where like the things you like end up affecting you, which end up affecting the things that you like. So like they feed off each other. If you understand what I mean. So,
I think I do.
so
I
like
think I kind of do get it.
yeah, so like you like, I don't know, you like a certain show when you're really young, um, and then that makes you like specific shows, which makes you look for those specific shows. It's just an endless feedback loop, and then the shows that you look for that fit your criteria, you end up liking, and then they end up influencing you more. And then that's kind of, well, I just explained how everyone gets their different tastes. I guess that's actually what it is, right? It's like that's how you get different tastes in music and TV and all this stuff.
Bro, you just moved from animation to pure anime.
Yeah, we have. I kind of had a feeling this conversation
Was
would get there.
expected.
Yeah, I was expected, honestly. At the moment, I would say that anime now is like, well, for me at least, like animation wise, anime is just a wish to go, honestly.
It's just what?
I barely watch movies.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to go back to like traditional series. I just don't find them interesting anymore. They just like nah. Like
Like like the last movie I watched is Pirates of the Caribbean.
all right, okay, that's good. That's really but but still it's like yeah, you'd go back and you'd watch certain things, but that's just because you started them off. Like you'll go back and you'll watch like the Avenger movies because you watched Iron Man all the way back when it started and you've been following the story, so you're kind of invested in it. But like there's so many like I don't know modern like shows that I they're just really hard to watch because they have so many like I don't know, they just don't have that sort of they don't give me that sort of feeling
Mm.
to get invested in the story. Like most of the time,
Yeah.
I just don't care what happens to these characters because they don't really have that like character building, right? Like a lot of these shows don't take the time to like make you get attached to the character. They're just like, all right, here's a story. Um, please watch it. It has 8 seasons. I'm looking at you, Game of Thrones. You kind of sucked too. Goddamn. Um, but yeah, it's so weird, and it's like that form of like that form of cinema. To me, I feel like it something needs to change, because more and more people are moving towards like animation style stuff. Um, like the rates have been really low for stuff like that, unless they have like pre-existing, like a pre-existing fan base. But a lot of these new shows and like you remember like back in the day, like we're old people. A couple years ago, you'd like pick up a new series, and like there'd be like 8 episodes of it, right? Like you'd pick up like I don't know, Once Upon a Time or something, like just any random series, and there'd be like so many seasons, and they'd still be producing seasons for it. Like the average lifespan of a show was like 5 to 6 seasons. But right now it's like 1 to 2. Like you pick up a show, even if it's really good, you're like, all right, it doesn't have a second season or a third season. Only the long running shows end up actually like having that longevity. A lot of these newer shows don't get extra seasons. Again, here this is the part where you guys speak.
And even something like animation, to be honest, even at the moment, like just remember the last animation movie was the last animation thing I watched was Invincible, and that's because
uh,
it came on very recommended, and I was like, that's this.
I
It's
watched it.
really true.
You watched it because of memes, memes, bro.
Watching is a meme.
The memes, man. You had to understand the
Yeah,
memes.
I think Mark
Yeah, think, Mark, think.
I like the variations of that meme. It's so funny.
Yeah,
Wait, Paul, I can't hear you.
You can hear me?
you
Yes.
you're a bit
Okay.
far from your mic.
How about now?
Oh,
Hey, bro.
okay. That's some ASMR shit right there. I apologize to anyone listening. uh, we should become an ASMR podcast.
Yeah, but
Clearly,
I like him with movies when it comes to action and fights. I don't know if it's only me, but since I'm so used to animations and like everything being choreographed and stuff, when I watch movies with special effects that should have like explosions or something like okay, like these days when I watch Marvel, it doesn't have the oomph I'd expect. Cause I don't know. The
How
special effects
dare you?
feel like they should be better if they were
How dare you?
animated.
How dare you?
What? I love Marvel. I still
How
do,
dare you?
but I don't do. It just has. There's some things that made me go like, I wish this was animated. It would have looked better or more believable. And so yeah,
Yeah.
special effects don't do much. CGI is boring in movies.
Paul, what do you have? What do you have to say about Marvel? You seem to be
I
defending it a lot, passive aggressively.
mean, bro, I've loved Marvel since I was a kid, man. Wow.
Same, but
I think movie wise, I think if I was to pick a movie, I'd probably just pick a movie from Marvel. Let's say if I was kidnapped and they were like, hey, you're gonna watch, pick a franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a franchise, and you watch that for the rest of the month or something. I'd rather just pick a Marvel franchise, honestly.
I mean,
Uh,
the, the thing with Marvel is like, um,
yeah,
I gotta be a bit careful here so I don't piss people off. I seem to have a lot of hot takes today. Uh, the thing with Marvel is like they have good films, but they also have not so good films. Yeah, that's the word. Not so good films. But the fact like you end up focusing more on the good ones and just completely forgetting the bad ones, which I guess is just human nature. But then you get these like random heated discussions about like DC, Marvel, or like, oh, this was better than this, and it's a bit weird how people get really invested in this kind of stuff.
yeah.
Like I have a friend. It's called Benny. I think Paul may you might know him. Um, he's super invested and he's like a DC stan. Um, and his entire feed is usually like completely filled with like DC stuff. Like, oh yeah, the Batman versus Superman was the best uh movie ever, or stuff like that, and it's like, well, I mean, if you think that, sure. But like there's a lot of what's it called, like investment that people have in these things that and it's really funny because they're not tangible, you know what I mean? Like the movies, the series, they're imaginary worlds created by someone else, with characters created by someone else, but we feel the need to get so attached to them, and we feel the need to uh, you know uh, resonate and defend. And if somebody talks bad about this character, you're like, no, you want to defend them, you want to praise them, and we get so invested into these fiction, uh, into fiction in general, or just media in general, and it's a bit interesting to see because most of the times the ones that have a lot of stands, I guess you could say, the like the sort of franchises, I guess, that have like that completely take you away in like a completely like new reality, right? And
Yeah.
it's kind of like you can kind of see why, like we use media, even music, right? Music, TV shows, series, as a form of escape, as a form of escapism. Even gaming, right? We use it as a form of escape. We imagine ourselves in that world. I'm pretty sure everyone's done it. You're in the movie theater, or you're pirating movies if you're if you're one of us, and you're watching, and you get immersed into this world, and you want to be there. You want to experience what these characters are experiencing. You want to have their life because their life seems so good, because their life is it's all written down. It's all gonna work out in the end. They the goals are assured, and they're going to make it, and there are no bumps in the road, and at the very least the bumps are going to be overcome, and it makes life a little bit more bearable, because reality isn't really like that. Reality just doesn't give a fuck about you, uh, and won't really like set up the domino cards perfectly. So we use these things as like as a form of escape, as a form of escapism, and I guess that's why people are kind of like really invested in it. It's because, like, I don't know, when you start to like take away or degrade that reality that somebody has idolized, it's like a personal attack. It's like a personal attack. Goddamn Brie Larson. So so yeah, it's a bit intriguing how all of these things like fit into like our psychology. It's funny that they do to begin with, right? Like the entire situation is a bit um odd, I guess, for lack of a better word, because like here we are, just a bunch of carbon-based life forms trying to figure out why we're here, uh, just try to live life and all this, and we create such complex um, like systems and societies, and it makes us like we get so invested in this, in our alternate realities and our actual realities, that we actually forget a lot of, like, I don't know, super important stuff.
True.
Like I don't know, like I know about you, but like it's so easy to get caught up in your life. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you do this and then you finish, and then there's something else to do. There's school, all right, do school work, all right, finish school work, all right, you gotta do assignments and what's it called, projects, and all this, and like, all right, cool, do that. All right, now I'm stressed. What am I gonna do to relieve my stress? All right, let's go play 15 hours of bloody Minecraft or something. Like, there's you end up doing so much, and okay, I need to make time for my friends, I need to make time for my family. If you have work, it's even worse. You need to make time for work, especially if like you're working to like live. Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
it's not just a you need to work to pay your bills and all this. It's so easy to get caught up in that daily cycle, and forget like the perspective of what it is that's actually happening. That we are like, we're just a bunch of um, meats, sentient meat that can somehow talk and think and live life, you know, and know that we're living life. Okay, so um, oh yeah, sorry about the drastic change in audio quality, but that's all the audio we have for that episode. If I remember to do so, I will link both Paul and Barbara in the description. You guys know I'm really bad at outros, so um, stay alive, I guess. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.